Hi Libra, welcome to Earth Wisdom Fire Tarot. This is going to be your forecast for 2020. So you can use this for your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, whatever works for you. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, if you'd like to get a personal version of this reading, you can find that information down the description box below. I'm going to be doing a special of $66 for at least the first, I don't know how long. um just as long as my energy allows. So if you're interested in that, jump on that opportunity. So I already pulled some cards from the Tantric Dakini Oracle, and I've been like just meditating on the energy. I like to go deep with these cards. So I wanted to you know kind of give you a sense of what I'm already tapping into. So the Island of Jewels is the first card out. It's a 17. So together that is an 8. And what I'm getting from this, because it correlates to the star card in the traditional tarot. And actually you have all major arcana here for these first 3 cards from this deck. So that's really potent. It's extremely powerful. But the star card is really about faith in, you know, things transforming in your life or working out, where you're really able to transcend the the cycles of karma on an everyday or like a lower level of consciousness type of basis. So I really feel like you're reaching beyond um, what you used to know, and you're opening up to wisdom and knowledge coming in about your path going forward. And with the Mercury and the Joker cards coming out together, this is the 1 and the 0, the masculine and the feminine. And these are the first cards of the tarot. And they're also forming a 10 here, a 10 for an ending and a new beginning, completion of a cycle, but also really potent, powerful energy for starting a new path. So I feel like the Island of Jewels card is really showing you what's possible, reaching beyond your limited view of what's possible for you, and opening up to like miracles and big possibilities. And then the Mercury and the Joker cards are really helping you solidify that. As a team, you're working with these energies to really start fresh. So very, very powerful energy to start off the reading. Let's look at what you're leaving behind in 2019. So the bottom of the deck right now is the 5 of Swords. Another 5 card came out here, actually, the 5 of Cups. So 5 cards talk about difficulty, change, and transformation happening through conflict, through friction. So the 5 of Swords is about, some sort of really difficult, challenging relationship, or dealing with multiple people. It could be a toxic energy. It could also just feel like failure, like maybe you experienced some sort of failure this year, but it didn't really fully deter you. It helped you to keep going. With the 2 of Wands, I feel like you really chose to continue to have faith and trust in the universe, that as long as you choose, the path of your destiny and what's meant for you, nothing can really harm you or hold you back. And with this 9 of Pentacles, I do feel like a lot of this year for you was about flourishing, about doing better than you've ever done. Like money wise, health wise, things could have gone really, really well. But I do sense that there could have been a loneliness here, because you have the 5 of Cups along with that as well. So it's like, while you achieved success in one area of your life, another area of your life, emotionally, you were still maybe feeling really empty, unfulfilled, feeling, yeah, I keep getting lonely. And I think that you're kind of oscillating between anger and loneliness, and you were needing to really deeply understand the emotions that were going on, that were like bubbling up to the surface for you. And I don't know if you've fully gone through that process, if you fully dealt with the emotions that you're being called to deal with, but I can definitely tell that not everything fell apart. There were some good moments, there were some good things that were going for you, and those things do feel like they will continue into 2020. And whatever sort of difficult lessons you had to learn, you'll understand why that needed to happen. If you haven't already had that revelation, I do feel like that revelation is coming because of like how potent these energies are, like the overarching energies for the reading. You have a fresh start available to you for sure, and he wouldn't be there unless there was this deep level of understanding of what you come from. So let's look at what's happening in early 2020. Okay. So bottom of the deck is the Chariot. So really moving forward successfully with what is working. So I feel like you're abandoning what isn't working with this 10 of Wands here. Whatever's really a heavy burden, like yes, you can handle it. Yes, you're strong enough. But I think that you've proven that to yourself and possibly to others. But it feels like there's a lack of necessity to keep going down that road or keep playing that role, because it feels like it's a role that you've been asked to play that isn't really truly coming from your heart space. You have other dreams, you have other things that you really want to experience and achieve. And I feel like with this Chariot card, it's really giving you permission to move forward in that. And right underneath that is the Ace of Cups, the Four of Wands, the Eight of Wands. So there's really good things right around the corner for you in this early part of the year. And I feel like with the Justice card, though, there is some unfinished business from the past that you need to fully part with. So it could be, as intense as a divorce or a breakup. It could be leaving behind a family situation or a job situation that, caused a lot of pain. In this Justice card, you can see that she's crying. There's like a tear falling, but she's not letting it, hold her back from her path. Her path is right there. She's come a long way and she has a long way to go, but there's like no fear because there's this sense of destiny about it. The Justice card is about things really being made right, things coming into balance. And as a Libra, that's actually your card in the major arcana. So with the Five of Pentacles, you have another 5 card coming out here. I feel like this is really closing out this cycle of transformation and change. So you had the 2 cards here, the thoughts and the emotions is how you could sort of like shorthand talk about the Swords and the Cups here. And then with the Pentacles, this is like the physical manifestation of that pain, of that struggle, and of that conflict. So I do feel like you are going to be asked to part with something that you've been holding on to, something that you possess or that you felt like you possessed, that you felt like was yours. And this could make you feel, again, like very lonely and really sad and longing for some sort of completion, And even though you're getting it with the Justice card, this is almost like it's not registering for you on a personal level in the early part of this year fully. Like, you're like able to intellectually understand it, but emotionally and physically you're still holding on to the past trauma or the past pain in some way. So let's see what's going on in the second half of the year. Okay. So, I pulled some extra cards for the next part of the reading, but I'm just going to go into this latter part of 2021. The next part of the reading is going to be specifically about love, um, however you want to interpret that. But right now, I'm going to talk about just the latter part of 2020 because it feels relevant to that. So maybe that's when things are transforming in that part of your life. So you have Daughter of Cups, which is about really opening up emotionally, really having well, really wanting to communicate what's on your heart to somebody that really matters to you. You could be dealing with an Aries. I haven't really talked that much about zodiac signs, but because the Justice card came out and this Emperor card came out, I feel like because of the opposite nature of these signs, like it might be really interesting and relevant to mention. But anyway, so I feel like with the Emperor, this is about, a really serious commitment to stability, to something really solid and real. This Daughter of Cups is almost like just like a flirting type of energy, like just flirting with giving your heart. But the Emperor is like really fully committing to a new path. With your heart fully behind it. And with the Seven of Cups, it's really about realizing that you have a lot of options here. You have a lot to look forward to. And even with the Emperor, like you're not getting locked into anything unless it's totally right and it's really on your path. So the Seven of Cups, I feel like is just an exploration of like where your heart is really leading you, letting yourself sort of daydream and fantasize about what is really going to make you happy and really going to help you grow and move forward. So with this 10 of Swords, there is going to be, a revelation of or I feel like this is some sort of major realization that just really hurts. It's painful because it makes you feel like you've wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy on something that wasn't for you. That's why it's so important to really explore your options and not get locked into something before you're really ready, because there is this energy here of being ready to really fully commit to something and move forward. But at the same time, you need to break out of old cycles that were keeping you, stuck in painful emotions, in painful situations. So this 10 of Swords, I feel like, is a karmic completion. It's like I said, like the Justice card is almost like it's happening on this cosmic level. And it's like you're intellectually able to understand it, but it's not fully in your body. I feel like this 10 of Swords is making it very, very clear and very real that you have to let go. So let's look at love. I feel like, again, it's sort of a continuation of like the later part of 2020 segment. It's like they're kind of bleeding into each other unlike the other readings. So you get to be special. So let's see what's going on here. Okay. So the bottom of the deck is the Devil. So wow, this is a very like potent soulmate connection and energy. It feels very, I mean, it could literally be coming in right at the end of the year or transforming. So I don't think that if you're already in a relationship or you find yourself in relationships throughout the year, something major is happening towards the end of the year. So I'm not saying you're going to be single until then. I'm not saying that you're going to break up or something at the end of the year. It just feels like there's something major happening, and it feels like it's helping you become this more evolved version of yourself. It's a very like catalyzing experience. So with the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like when it comes to this love connection, there is this opportunity for growth. There is this opportunity for change and for a new beginning. At the same time, I feel like you're kind of prepared for just like the same old, like for, again, being stuck in some sort of cycle. And you're getting an opportunity to break free from it. But because there's so much passion and intensity here, wow, right underneath that you have the Death card and the God of Swords, which, you know, goes along with this Goddess of Swords that came out. So, which would be your energy. Definite transformation energy I'm getting here. Like really being done with whatever sort of treatment you've accepted in past relationships, whatever, you know, especially if you've settled, or especially if you've been afraid to take a risk and move forward, or you've kept things light when you really want something more serious and more committed. Whatever's going on there, there's a major shift towards something much more meaningful, something where you know you're really deserving, because you have the Goddess of Wands here, and you also have the Goddess of Swords, which would be, you know, like your energy, is what I was feeling, because this reading definitely makes me feel like you're on the more receptive side of a lot of these energies. There's definitely an acceptance here, a need for acceptance around change, because you have the Tower energy and you have the Devil. So it's like you're being stuck between like holding on to something really tight. Like the Devil kind of makes you feel like you can't live without something or someone. And the Tower card takes things away that aren't meant for you. So the key to this year is to really embody this Goddess of Swords energy and use your discernment. Don't jump to any conclusions. Don't jump into anything. Really explore your options romantically. And with the Two of Pentacles, don't be afraid to set your priorities for what you are willing to use your energy on. So for example, like if a relationship comes along and this person wants you to sacrifice something that you're spending a lot of time on to spend more time with them, I feel like you need to prioritize your own well-being and what you know is going to help you grow. I feel like the worry here is about investing too deeply into somebody, and realizing that they're not serious, or you being afraid of fully committing to someone and investing in someone because you're worried that it'll be sort of a waste of time, or it's the same old, same old. And when something really, truly special does come along, when something really comes along that feels like a gift from God, you know, like you don't want to be so jaded that you don't recognize how beautiful that opportunity is, and you don't want to be bogged down in something else that makes you unavailable to not be able to accept that gift. So you do kind of have to be vigilant with your love life this year. You can't be passive. Um you can't like sweep problems under the rug and pretend like they're not there. You have to be very proactive in addressing problems in relationships, addressing any sort of feelings of like not being fulfilled, being really like feeling like you're settling, um, being really complacent and passive. Like I feel like that's not your natural energy here. There's going to be a lot of opportunity here for passion and joy and excitement and things like that. But there's also opportunity here to really establish something real, where the feelings of excitement can, you know, be a fuller part of that experience and not just like an external part of that experience. I hope that makes sense. That's how the messages are coming through to me. So the bottom of the deck is be in service. So this is really about, you know, going outside of the realm of, you know, just doing practical things, or just having your own basic needs met, or performing for others. I've had like a lot of really interesting messages today about like performing versus like embodying. And I feel like if a lot of this reading is actually talking more about a job situation more so than like a relationship, I feel like, you know, if you don't feel like you're fulfilling your life purpose and you don't feel like you're actually really serving others with your real true gifts, you're never going to be fulfilled and satisfied. You're going to be really um uncomfortable, and it's almost like a numbness that I'm feeling from tapping into that energy. So you need to take a pause. If you've gone too far down a road, there's never it's never too late to change your mind and do something else, to do something that really fits you. And you don't always have to act all the time. You don't always have to push forward and keep moving. You know, you can take a rest, you can take a pause and really take stock of where you're at and what you want. You have the opportunity to move forward with what's really right for you. But if you're using the chariot energy to just push forward when even like and force things where they don't fit, you're going to be really unhappy and really unsatisfied. So I feel like the key for you this year is definitely discernment, really being able to evaluate your options and use your heart to really make a decision that makes your mind also feel safe. That's kind of like how I think of discernment. And we have hope and happiness. So there is a lot to hope for and a lot to look forward to. And there is a lot of happiness available to you. Just like I said, there's a lot of excitement and joy and happiness available to you this year. And it's really coming through when I tap into this goddess of wands energy. It's not all, you know, just business and cold decisions or just practical matters. Like there's a lot to be excited about this year as well. You have opened your heart. So no matter what, no matter how much pain you've experienced, like don't give up. Don't close yourself off fully to love, to new experiences. And I feel like, you know, it's really about opening your heart even to just yourself, to your own higher self, and really being able to experience that inner merge, that inner union, that will really truly satisfy you. And if you're closed off from that experience totally, you know, a lot of big things are going to be happening, but you're going to feel so removed from it that you're not going to be able to really be in the journey, which is where a lot of the fun and happiness and excitement takes place. If you're only focused on the outcome, or you're only focused on where you've been, like if you're just living in the past, you're living in the future, you're not living in the present, you're missing it. You're missing a lot of the gifts, you know, the beautiful gifts that are available to you. And one of those gifts really does feel like a lover, like a love interest, a love energy. um Definitely has the potential for commitment, for something serious, and it may come in very suddenly. um you just have to again use your discernment and beware, because I think there may be a lot of options coming at you from different angles, from different sides. It's really about you being able to make the decisions that are right for you and to make solid decisions and to stick with them. But you are allowed to change your mind. Wow. So bottom of the deck is listening, and I feel like this is really listening to yourself and, you know, your own higher self and the wisdom of your own heart. And I feel like the more that you can really tune in and listen to yourself, you can really listen to others and hear their motivations, because I think that's really the key here. That's what your discernment is really going to help you understand, is people's motivations and their intentions towards you. um you're going to kind of feel whether or not you actually fit, whether your visions for your life align, you know, whether you're actually truly compatible. When you're really able to listen to yourself and your own needs, it makes you more, um, it makes it easier to tune into other people and what messages are coming from them. And you can kind of hear, you can kind of tap into the energy and not have to rely just on what they're saying. Because if they're people who aren't even honest with themselves, how can they be honest with you? So it's really important. You're going through a shift, you know, where you won't have to be as blindsided, you know, by the way people behave and the way people act. It's like you're getting a heads up. You're getting a lot of clarity here. And that's key. That's really, really key, because without clarity, you are more susceptible to getting trapped in cycles. When you're not learning your lessons, you know, you're having to repeat them over and over again. I feel like the clarity is just like breaking through and helping you sort of break free of that whole of entire cycles, like really, really big cycles that have to do with relationships. Relationships card did come out, which is a really good sign. Like I said, that there is a love here. Whether you're single or whether you're with someone, there's a love that's growing, you know, that is offering a lot of opportunity for healing of your inner child. And you could be, if you're single and you're not like in a super serious committed relationship, it may be multiple relationships that actually all turn out to be extremely valuable, in terms of learning lessons and in terms of preparing you for the real person that you're supposed to be with. So I feel like it's like not a done deal for you this year in terms of like what's happening in your love life. Like there are a lot of options. You're not locked into one thing. So it's like putting the power and the control in your hands. Like you're in charge of this whole process based on your actions and your decisions. The easiest way to get what you want is to align with what's meant for you. And that seems like what you've really been working on this past year. So you're ready. So we have the communication card, which goes along with the listening card really, really well. To be truly heard, one needs to practice the art of listening. This card has been revealed to you today to acknowledge the voice inside you that wishes to be heard and acknowledged. One of the biggest lessons we can learn in this lifetime is effective communication. Communication that is clear and that does not assume that others can read our minds. Working both ways, the art of listening also involves being patient and open to the ideas of others. Dear one, at times you don't feel as though you are being truly listened to. This can cause frustration, agitation, and a stagnant whirlpool of energy to build within you. This frustration can sometimes cause you to be indirect, insensitive, and snappy. This energy of frustration and insensitivity then gets passed back to the ones who did not effectively listen the first time around, and is usually received as a personal attack. This energy only encourages them to continue not to listen with even more resistance and defiance. This cycle of energy being thrown back and forth continues and becomes more vicious, intolerable, and heartbreaking. Most often, either or both parties will search elsewhere for an empathetic ear to simply listen. It is time to take the reins and break free from these energetic, emotional mind games. Communicate truthfully about how you feel and express calmly with love what needs to be said. Give the other party an opportunity to also express their feelings truthfully and allow them to speak freely without interruptions or resistance. The more you practice this art of listening with love, the more you will find others eager to hear what you have to say. You will then go from a place of not being heard to a place of being heard by many. So this is really setting you up for what I feel like is a big part of your mission, like how you're able to be in service, like that in service card that came out in this reading. This message really connected a lot of what's going on here. A lot of what you were going through last year, a lot of what you're going to be going through this year. It feels like it has a lot to do with unresolved emotional trauma, possibly, you know, from childhood, you know, that has a lot to do with communication and being heard. So if you had a childhood experience where you weren't fully heard, you weren't fully acknowledged, you weren't fully taken seriously, I feel like you're playing out a lot of those patterns in cycles of relationships as an adult. And you're getting an opportunity to break free of that specific cycle and maybe other cycles as well. But that's the one that came up the most prominently in this reading. So you have a choice now to make about how you're going to continue. If you're going to just accept more of the same, keep going in the same circles that have been frustrating you and making you really disappointed and sad, or, you know, break free. You know, and freedom is really what true love is about. So I really wish you that love. I wish you that peace, and I hope this helped. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in a personal version of this reading for you in 2020, please let me know down below in the description box. I have information on how to contact me and order this reading. I love you guys so much, and Happy New Year. Bye.